At 17, Marcus dropped out of high school. He worked night shifts at a warehouse, slept 4 hours a night, shared a bedroom with 2 brothers. On the other side at 17, Nathan took a gap year to find himself. His family owned 2 homes. He had a trust fund and a safety net, and a flight booked to Bali. 10 years later, Marcus owns 3 logistics centers and employs over 100 people. Nathan is still figuring it out. This isn't a parable, it's real life. Different starting points, different incentives. They both had potential. Only one of them had to use it. We often assume that wealth makes success inevitable, that money removes barriers, clears the path, sets you up to win. And in many ways, it does. Money buys time. It buys options. It buys silence from the noise of survival. It allows space to think, experiment, fail without fear of ruin. It gives you access to better schools, mentors, connections, and even the benefit of the doubt. But there's something wealth doesn't automatically provide. Purpose. Psychologists call it drive, but it's more than motivation. It's hunger. A deep, internal restlessness to move forward, with or without applause. And that hunger doesn't always grow in luxury. In fact, luxury often dulls it. Because when comfort is constant, urgency disappears. And when urgency disappears, so does movement. Not always, but often enough to notice the pattern. This is where the Matthew effect comes in, a concept from sociology. It describes how advantage compounds. Those who start ahead tend to stay ahead. More resources lead to more opportunities. More opportunities lead to more confidence. Confidence creates risk-taking, and risk-taking leads to growth. But here's the paradox. The more comfortable the path, the less need there is to walk it. When life is optional, achievement becomes optional too. There's a reason so many entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders come from hardship. Struggle teaches urgency. It forces creativity. It burns away distraction. Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks, grew up in public housing. Oprah Winfrey was raised in poverty. Arnold Schwarzenegger came from post-war Austria with nothing but ambition. They didn't just chase success, they needed to escape something. And that need? It's a powerful engine. Now, contrast that with inherited comfort. Children of the ultra-wealthy often have everything, except friction, and friction is what sharpens tools. Without pressure, talent sits unused. Without stakes, discipline fades. Without purpose, even abundance feels empty. This isn't to say rich kids can't be driven. Many are. But they have to manufacture what others are born into. Urgency. It's hard to light a fire when the room is already warm. Of course, success isn't exclusive to those who struggle. Warren Buffett was born into a well-connected family. So was Jeff Bezos, but both had direction. Buffett read business books as a child. Bezos set clear goals early. They used their privilege as a platform, not a pillow. That's the difference. Not what you're born into, but what you do with it. Let's be honest. Most people, when given security, tend to protect it. They preserve, not create. They hesitate, not leap. Why risk what you didn't have to earn? So, wealth becomes a fortress, but also a prison. Comfort becomes the cage. And over time, the very thing that was meant to set you free limits you. So the question shifts. It's not, would you still be successful if you were born rich? It's, would you still become someone who strives even when you don't have to? Because the real challenge of wealth isn't financial. It's psychological. It's learning how to build when nothing is broken, to grow when there's no pain pushing you, to care when no one is making you. And this challenge is growing. In a world where access is increasing but meaning is decreasing, we're seeing more quiet comfort and less loud creation. Social media shows us the results of success, but not the void behind inherited abundance. It shows jets, not the boredom. It shows mansions, not the lack of urgency. And people wonder why second-generation wealth often disappears by the third. The reason? They lose the story. And with the story, they lose the fuel. But there is a way through. You don't need poverty to be hungry, and you don't need wealth to succeed. What you need is clarity, clarity of identity, clarity of values, clarity of purpose. People with clarity win in any starting position. Because when you know who you are and why you do what you do, you'll build, even when it's not required. You'll stretch, even when you could sit still. You'll keep going, because that's just who you are. So whether you were born rich or broke, the question is never just about money. It's about what's burning inside you, what keeps you moving, what you refuse to silence. You can be born into privilege and still build something real. You can be born into nothing and still end up leading millions. The variable isn't wealth, it's will. Marcus and Nathan both had options. Only one had to act. Only one chose to keep moving when there was nothing pushing him. And in the end, that choice is what defines success.